Now, getting kids involved in cooking is one of the best steps in establishing long-term healthy eating habits.
And it's a great way to keep them occupied in the summer, if you don't mind your kitchen being a mess, of course. Nutritionist Heather Leeson is here to share some helpful advice. Good morning to you, Heather.
Hi, Heather.
Thanks for stopping by today. In theory, having children helping in the kitchen is the absolute dream. But are we control freaks that we tend to throw them out halfway through because of the mess they're making?
Probably, yeah. I mean, that is the downside, the mess, but it's totally worth it because it's so much fun for kids, especially in the summer. It's a long old summer. Giving them a few projects in the kitchen, no matter what age they are, it's great fun. If you explain that tidying up is part of that fun as well.
Yeah, really good point, actually, because a lot of the
They're
time
not that interested in that part, are they?
No, I know. But it depends, you know, you can get really cool little things like scrubbing brushes for kids that just make it a little bit more fun. And I think projects are the way to go. So this is your project, you do that.
Yes.
Or if you do this, I'll do the washing up. You know, whatever.
A lot of children in summer camps would have made things. I know ours did, and they come home with the flapjacks or whatever it might be, and they're very proud of their produce.
Yeah.
So it's nice if you can recreate that at home, I suppose.
Absolutely. And I think that's the challenge. Keep it going on a regular basis. So it's not just something that you do a couple of days a year. And it's not also just the sweet treats, because of course everybody loves baking the sweet treats.
Yeah.
But what you're trying to do with kids is teach them a little bit about food and teach them about healthy eating habits as well. So maybe instead of baking cakes, bake, say, brown bread, or do a meal, actually, because that's help for you as well, and that's a skill for the kids when they're older.
Okay.
You know,
well, you have some great tips for us today, and I suppose we'll start with the flavours. And every parent in the country will appreciate the fact that sometimes the children just hate the food you put in front of them, and you're tearing your hair out because you want them to eat your healthy meal, and they won't do it. You're saying not to be afraid of strong flavours. Don't water things down.
Not at all. I think, you know, we can be a little bit shy about giving kids strong flavours or foods that we don't like. Mushrooms are a classic example. If you don't give mushrooms, you won't probably give them to your kids. But kids actually like fairly strong flavours. Things like garlic. You know, obviously you're not going to load in a load of chilli, but let them try it. The key is tasting rather than finishing. And it is, absolutely heartbreaking if you've put time into making a meal and they won't eat it. But if they're involved in making the meal, they're much more likely to try it at least.
Okay, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
Get them involved in the choosing and the planning and the shopping.
Yeah, the whole thing. So
that's great crack in the supermarket, Heather.
Well, no, I know. Listen, I have kids as well, but maybe say, okay, Wednesday is your turn. What are you going to help me cook for dinner? Help them choose. If they can write, maybe they add to the shopping list. And then in the supermarket, look, I know it's a pain, but you say, right, your ingredients are these, off you go and get them and put them in the trolley. Just keep them busy.
Yes, okay.
It is, you know, it can be a little bit of fun for them.
Giving them a bit of control.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I suppose there's pride in their work as well when they come home and they're able to serve up a dish that they helped cook.
Yeah, and of course it's going to be delicious no matter...
The other thing you have to do, Heather, and it's really hard, I find it really hard, is just to let go of the mess. Just let it go.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. Look, it's just a little bit... You might have a gorgeous kitchen, but look, you can just clean it up. That's just part of it. And getting kids involved in the cleaning, like I said already, but also the kids can do so much more, I think, than we think. We're all very careful. And of course, there is a safety issue with cooking in the kitchen. But kids can do much, much more than we think. Even from a very small age, it's important to get them into the kitchen. Now, mine are a little bit bigger now, but even, you know, from when they're sitting in a high chair until they're about 2, they can be sitting there with you and they can be banging on their measuring spoons, playing away, tasting the odd bit. Then when they get a little bit older, there's loads that they can do, even from the ages of 2 to 6. Now, I'm not sure what age your kids are. I think probably still quite small, but they can be measuring. That's a great age. They love to be involved at that age. They can be measuring. They can be using the kitchen timer to see, you know, 3 minutes for the eggs or whatever it is.
You have some great products here. There's so much available in the market, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, and not all of this. I mean, a lot of this is cheap as chips. You can get it from supermarkets and places like Tiger Dunn's have great options. I love these. I brought these in before, these smoothie pops, because if you're making a smoothie with the kids, you can just get the kids to pour it into the lollipop molds and then stick them in the freezer, and they've got healthier ice pops. So this age, it is more assembly, maybe scraping out using a spatula or whatever, but they can perfectly well make something like a yogurt pot for breakfast. Or if you're making a healthy snack like hummus, you don't have to make it with them, but they can, you know, wash the veggies and just get involved with assembly and tasting So even from a very small age. And then from the 6 to 12 age group, really they can get a lot more involved. And that's where they can start to use things like knives. Carefully, obviously, you're going to be keeping an eye on them.
Well, you have a special knife there, don't you?
Yeah, this one, there's details on our website. This is designed for kids, so it actually does work, but it's not going to cut them.
Okay.
And it's so cute. It's a really nice present, and there's loads of things in the shops to give, you know, for a birthday present, and get kids more involved. These are quite fun as well, and a little bit messy, but they make vegetable spirals.
Okay.
So you're more likely as a kid to eat cucumber if it looks a little bit more interesting. Things like these scones, really simple for kids to make and really tasty for lunch. And they're learning dexterity, they're learning maths, they're stirring and having a little bit of fun. Something like pesto they can make, you can buy it as well. And for, say, a 10-year-old, putting that on a little bit of fish and putting it in the oven, that's a really nice meal.
So should we be worried if they take a bite of something, say, that's horrible, that's rotten, I'm never going to have it again? Wasn't there a survey that we were chatting about in the show a while ago that you have to taste something
7 times, is it?
7 times?
Something like
I'm
that.
not sure where that came from, but it is true. They have to keep trying, but that's where you're focusing on not finishing it. Just taste it. You made it, have a little taste. If you don't like it, you don't have to finish it, and keep going. There's loads of research showing that. Come back to it.
I always lie and pretend that they've never eaten it before. Oh, you've never had that before?
This is amazing.
No, it looks horrible. No, you loved this the last time. I also lied and said they've had loads.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know, because the temptation is to kind of smuggle things that you think that they don't want to eat in, but
Yes.
actually just keep trying.
Yeah.
And if they've cut a pepper up, they're going to try it maybe themselves, or a little bit.
I love that you've also included the older kids, the teenagers, because really the aspiration is you are sending your young women and men out into the world with culinary skills. It's going to serve them well throughout college, throughout life.
It's just such a life skill to have, isn't it? To be able to make a few basic dinners.
Absolutely. And in clinic, I'm seeing people who have eating habits. They don't know how to cook. They never learned how to cook when they were smaller. So even if you can have 2 or 3 dishes that the kids can cook, there's loads of good cookbooks, not just for kids, but something like Jamie Oliver, Donald Ski, and they have great books with 5 or 10 ingredients, and that's easy for a kid to wrap their head around. And for teenagers, they can learn how to improvise. So if we don't have apples, we can use pears. If we don't have carrots, we can use something else. It's a really good skill that you're teaching them. I always say to my 13-year-old, look, this is going to get you a girlfriend.
Something in it, as well as a nice meal.
There's the incentive.
Kill me for saying that.
But it's a great idea and a great incentive to get them started young. So it becomes part of family life that when you're at the kitchen, that's something that really I resent, being stuck in the kitchen when they're inside, if they're doing their homework around, but playing or something. You know, we should be together doing
Exactly. And they have to, I suppose, take control as well a little bit, get involved, but that means we have to let go a little bit.
I think it is that's the key, just letting go.
It's going to be
letting
slower and it's going to be messier, but sure, it's a life skill.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun, so we say.
Heather, thank you as always.
Great tips there. Thanks, Heather.